Hello students, you are welcome in the first lecture of a new chapter, fourth chapter of chemical thermodynamics in our college. We are starting with the new chapter, chemical thermodynamics. In your book, this is the chapter at position number 4. Actually, this is a fourth chapter in your book, but we are starting at number 3 because we have completed 2 chapters. First one, solid state. Second, solutions. In your book, third one is equilibrium, ionic equilibrium. But instead of that ionic equilibrium, we are starting with a chapter of chemical thermodynamics, which is actually chapter number 4 in your book. See which are the points we have to cover over here in thermodynamics. Already you are familiar with the law of conservation of energy. What is that law of conservation of energy? You know. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Just one form of energy is converted into another form of energy, and the total quantity of energy remain constant. That is known as law of conservation of energy. And that law of conservation of energy is also known as a first law of thermodynamics that we are supposed to study in detail in this chapter of chemical thermodynamics. Around us, there are many changes take place. For example, whenever ice kept open to the atmosphere, it is converted to liquid water. There is a change in energy take place. Change in energy take place. Whenever carbon burns, it is converted to carbon dioxide. Burning of carbon and conversion into the carbon dioxide take place with the change of energy. You may have seen the hand torch, where we are using the dry cell. In that dry cell, what happen? Chemicals are there, and those chemicals are converted into electric energy. Chemical energy is converted into electric energy. So many changes are there around ourselves, where one form of energy is converted into another form of energy, and that quantitative relationship between different forms of energy and heat energy can be studied with the help of branch of chemistry known as chemical thermodynamics. So in this chapter of chemical thermodynamics, we are concerning with the processes, different processes in which change of energy take place along with that process. So which are the important terms used in the thermodynamics? They are system, then surrounding, and boundary. See, here we have to study what is meant by system and what is meant by surrounding. So what is meant by system? Any part of the universe which is under consideration for thermodynamic study is known as system. The part of universe, any part of universe which is under consideration for thermodynamic study is known as a system. And what is surrounding of that system? Surrounding is nothing but the part which is present around the system. The remaining part excluding system is known as surrounding. The total part, remaining all part, total part of universe just by excluding system is known as surrounding of that system. But in more correct manner, in more appropriate manner, surrounding is defined as a part of universe which is in the immediate neighborhood, closed vicinity of that system. And what is boundary? Boundary is nothing but boundary. It is nothing but imaginary or a real line which will separate the system from surrounding. For example, if suppose for example, if we have this beaker, in this beaker suppose we have taken the liquid water, so this much part is nothing but a system. This part is known as a system. And what is surrounding? Surrounding is the part just by excluding system. So this part which is in the closed vicinity of a system is known as surrounding of that system. That is the surrounding. And this is system, this is surrounding, and this is the line, real line, beaker line. Line of beaker is nothing but a real line. That line which is separating system from surrounding is known as boundary. So these are the three important terms: system, surrounding and boundary we have to consider in the thermodynamics. See here also, same part I have showed over here. This part is nothing but a system. This is a gaseous system because taken for consideration, thermodynamic study consideration. So this part is nothing but the total system, and remaining part of universe, totally remaining part of universe is known as surrounding of that system. And what is this part? What is this line? This is a line which is separating system from surrounding. Therefore this line is known as boundary. Boundary is real or imaginary line which will separate the system from surrounding. Now, type of systems. Here we have to study different type of systems on the basis of free exchange of energy and matter in between system and surrounding. Types of systems. What is the criteria for classification? Exchange of energy and matter with the surrounding, system and surrounding. There are three type of systems. First one is open system, second closed system, and third is isolated type of system. See, in this open system, what happened here? Open system, in that system it is a tea taken in cup and it is open at the top. So what happened? Vapors are escaped out from the tea, matter is exchanged and energy is also exchanged. That is known as open system. Over here, in this case, it is closed at the top, so it forms a closed system. And here it is covered from all sides by thermal insulator also. That is known as isolated system. See it once again. Suppose we have this type of beaker, and in this beaker we have taken the water. Suppose we have liquid water. If it is heated, we know how heating take place. Due to heating, what will happen? Kinetic energy increases, and whenever kinetic energy become greater than intermolecular energy, molecules at the surface get converted into vapor state. So energy is absorbed by heating. Energy is absorbed by system from surrounding, and at the same time particles, vapors are given out, means matter is also given out. Exchange of both energy as well as matter take place is known as open system. Now in the second system, suppose In the second system, suppose we have similar type of beaker, and that beaker is containing water, but this beaker is closed at the top. It is closed at the top. So what will happen? If it is heated, molecules of the liquid water are converted into gaseous state. But can they will escape out from the system? No. They will remain over here only, because system is closed at the top. And in this system, heat is absorbed, energy is absorbed, but matter remain constant. Matter is not exchanged, is known as a closed system, second type of system. Energy is exchanged but matter is not exchanged. And third type of system is known as isolated system. Suppose consider one more system, third type of system. Suppose we have the same beaker, that beaker is containing liquid water, but it is closed from all sides, covered from all sides by some thermal insulator. And now if it is heated, what will happen? This is thermal insulator, means heat from surrounding into system not absorbed. No exchange of heat take place between surrounding and system. Therefore, matter is not boiling. Water is not converted into the gaseous state. So here, since it is closed from all sides, no heating take place, no energy is absorbed, no matter is given out. Therefore, in this system, there is neither exchange of energy nor exchange of matter take place, is known as an isolated system. These are the three type of systems on the basis of exchange of energy and matter. In case of open system, there is free exchange of both energy as well as matter take place between system and surrounding. In case of closed system, only energy is exchanged but matter remain constant. Matter is not exchanged. And in case of isolated system, there is neither exchange of energy nor exchange of matter take place, is known as an isolated type of the system. Now, properties of system. Here we are studying the properties of system now. There are two properties of system. Properties of system. There are two properties of system. They are extensive properties and intensive properties. See, what is meant by extensive properties and what is meant by intensive properties. Extensive properties are the properties which are depending on amount of matter present in the system. The properties which are depending on amount of matter present in the system are known as extensive properties. For example, mass, volume. Suppose I have small piece of stone. This is a small piece of stone I am having, and one more piece of stone I am having. So these are the two pieces of same substance I am having. So which one will have maximum mass, more mass and more volume? This has a more volume. This will have less volume. Mass, this is having more mass. This is having less mass. Therefore, mass, volume depends on which factor? They are depending on amount of matter, quantity of matter present in the system, and therefore they are known as extensive properties. Extensive. Some more examples are internal energy, heat capacity, number of moles. Energy, also depends on the amount of matter present in the system. More volume, more mass means more energy is there. More the mass means more energy is present in that system that can do more work. So these are some examples of extensive properties. Now what are intensive properties? Intensive properties are the properties which are independent of amount of matter present in the system. The properties of which magnitude is independent, not depending, independent of amount of matter present in the system are known as intensive properties. For example, pressure, temperature, surface tension, viscosity, melting point, boiling point, specific heat. Or we may take one more example, density. Density, D, density is equal to mass upon volume. If we take density of water from 1 liter, it is 1 gram per ml. 1 gram per ml. If we take density of water from 100 liters, there also density is 1 gram per ml. Means density is independent of amount of matter. Here, whether we have taken 1 liter, 100 liter, 1000 liter or tank of water, everywhere density of water is constant, independent of amount of matter, and all these properties are nothing but intensive properties because their magnitude is independent of amount of matter present in the system. See, from this equation, density is equal to mass upon volume. Mass is which type of property? Extensive. Volume, extensive. See, both mass and volume are extensive, but their ratio is intensive property. The ratio of two extensive property is intensive property. So here we have completed what is meant by thermodynamics, which are the basic terms in thermodynamics, 3 type of systems, then properties of system. Already we have studied 2 more type of systems, that is not important here. Last year you know homogeneous and heterogeneous systems. In homogeneous system, how many phases are present? Only one. In homogeneous system, only one phase is present. And in heterogeneous system, at least 2 or more than 2 phases are present, is known as heterogeneous system. And the next part we will see in the next lecture.